Let me ask you something. Who the hell are you pretending to be? You wake up every morning trapped inside a body you settled for, a mind full of lies you agreed to, living a life you didn't choose, but one you tolerated long enough that it became your prison. And you've got the audacity to wonder why you're anxious, why you're weak, why you're not where you want to be. It's because you've been lying to yourself for years. You want greatness, but you act like a ghost. You want respect, but you move like a coward. You dream of becoming something massive, untouchable, but deep down, you're scared you're not enough to do it. And that fear, that whisper in your mind saying, maybe I can't, that's the version of you that needs to die. Right now, because until you kill the identity that was built on your fears, your laziness, your excuses, you'll never even meet the person you were born to become. And let me tell you something brutal, the person you're afraid you can't be. That's exactly who you're supposed to become. So now the question is simple. Are you finally ready to rewrite your identity? Or are you just here to clap, nod, and stay the same? Who told you that the version of yourself you see in the mirror this morning is the real you? Who whispered in your ear that your safe routines, your half-hearted dreams, the excuses you've been hiding behind are all you deserve? You've built your life on a foundation of whispers and shadows, convincing yourself that comfort is king. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes because every tomorrow is just a new hiding place for your fear. You walk around telling people you're content, but contentment is complacency dressed up in fancy clothes. It's a slow death, a daily surrender of everything you could be, and I'm here to rip that mask off your face. I'm here to challenge every lazy, self-serving thought that's ever crossed your mind. You think you're unique, that your excuses are special, that your laziness is justified because, hey, everyone needs a break. Newsflash, breaks are for the broken. You don't get a trophy for settling. You don't earn respect by blending in. You earn it by standing out, by refusing to buy into the comfortable lie that you're already enough. Right now, you're playing a role, an understudy in your own life, waiting for someone to hand you the part you've always wanted. But no one is coming. No one is going to storm in and demand that you transform into the warrior you're capable of being. You have to do that yourself. So let's get brutally honest. Your so-called comfort zone is a coffin. Every hour you spend scrolling your phone. Every night you choose cheap thrills over real challenges. You're nailing another plank in the lid. You're suffocating your potential. You're suffocating your future. You complain about feeling stuck, but you're the one locking the door. You have the key. You just refuse to turn it. Why? Because fear is a cunning beast. It disguises itself as common sense. It tells you that stability is safety. It's convinced you that risk is reckless, when in truth, the only reckless move is refusing to risk everything for a shot at the life you truly want. You're chained to habits that weigh you down. You wake up late, you browse endless feeds, you drown in information that goes nowhere. You indulge in distractions that promise relief but deliver regret. Then you tell yourself you don't have time to work on your skills, on your mind, on your strength. You tell yourself that maybe you're not smart enough, not strong enough, not bold enough. That's the voice you need to silence. That's the version of you that needs to die. You're arguing with yourself over scraps while the real feast waits just beyond the line you refuse to cross. When was the last time you shocked your own system? When was the last time you kicked routine in the teeth and dared to pursue something that scares you? I don't mean a weekend getaway or a fad diet. I mean a complete overhaul of your identity. I mean ripping the old you out by the roots and planting a new version. One that doesn't settle. One that laughs in the face of doubt. One that recognizes excuses for what they are. Cowardice masquerading as logic. You think that person is unattainable. You think that person is reserved for the chosen few. That's the lie you need to expose. That person is you. But you have to pull yourself out of the mud of mediocrity. You have to shake yourself awake. You have to look in the mirror and not see the tired, worn-out face of a bystander. You have to see a warrior, a champion, a force of nature. You have to look past every failure, every setback, every shameful mistake, and recognize that none of it defines you. unless you let it. Your identity isn't written in stone. It's written in sweat, in sacrifice, in the moments you push when every fiber of your body screams to quit. It's written in the choices you make when no one is watching. So here's the challenge. Stop tiptoeing through life. Stop playing small. Stop bargaining with your potential. Confront the person you've been, the person you've allowed yourself to become, and demand something more. Demand greatness. Demand discomfort, because discomfort is the birthplace of growth. Demand fear, because fear is the sign that you're reaching for something real. Demand sacrifice, because nothing worth having comes without a price. Refuse to accept anything less than the version of you that terrifies you. That version is your future self waiting to be set free. And it's time you cracked the cage open and let them loose. Who told you that giving a half-hearted apology to your own potential is acceptable? Every time you mumble an excuse, you're handing over your power. You think a soft tone will win you sympathy, but it only breeds contempt. Your own. Real strength doesn't whisper, it roars. When you catch yourself rationalizing why you can't, why you shouldn't, you're sniveling at the gates of your destiny, begging for permission to stay small. You can't negotiate with greatness. You can't talk success into your lap. You either claim it with brutal honesty or watch it walk right past you, admired by those bold enough to seize it. Stop tiptoeing around your flaws like they're delicate china. Weakness is not a quirk, it's a disease. And no, you're not absolved because everyone's got their cross to bear. That's victim talk. Victims beg for leniency. Champions demand domination. So when you feel that pang of doubt twisting your gut, don't pet it kindly or plaster on a pity grin. Grab it by the throat, choke it out, and throw it in the gutter. That trembling lump in your chest is the old you begging for mercy. Show no mercy. Crush it until it's nothing more than a memory you laugh at every time fear tries to crawl back. Don't flatter yourself with notions of balance and self-care when what you really mean is, I'm comfortable being mediocre. Real warriors relish the burn. They welcome the grind that twists their muscles and blisters their resolve. They don't tuck into a cozy cave of comfort to sip on excuses and lament their lot. They storm the trenches, teeth bared, tearing down walls built from every "I'll do it later" they ever uttered. They own every moment of anguish because they know that's the purest forge for ironclad identity. Without it, you're just a ghost in a cheap suit, masquerading as a man or woman of purpose. And let's get one thing crystal clear. No one out there owes you a damn thing. Not respect, not attention, not pity. If you think the world will hand you an easy path because you're trying your best, you're delusional. The world respects results, raw and undeniable. It applauds the person who snarls at setbacks, who laughs when plans collapse, who rebuilds from the rubble without a flinch. It salutes the one who tells the mirror, I will win, and then proceeds to do exactly that. So drop the polite requests for a chance. Kick the door down, charge through, and carve your initials into every obstacle standing in your way. Your voice, your posture, your every word, they're weapons, so why do you wield them like you're apologizing for existing? Straighten your spine, plant your feet, speak like a conqueror. When you issue a demand, your own mind will scramble to obey. When your speech drips with conviction, your habits will start to align themselves in submission. Your claws will dig into complacency, ripping it apart, one shred at a time. That's raw language. It's not polite. It's not wrapped in silk ribbons or coated in sugar. It's a fist to the face of every excuse you've ever told yourself. Feel that adrenaline. That's the power surging through you when you decide to stop whining and start acting. It's electric, intoxicating, and utterly non-negotiable. You can't tweak it into something polite or package it into a friendly suggestion. You have to unleash it in its full, terrifying form, and then you have to sustain it. Every single day, because the moment you soften your tone, you're inviting back the very weaknesses you vowed to destroy. You're opening the door for fear to slip in while you're busy making yourself sound reasonable. So here's the challenge. Stop couching your words in maybes and mights. Drop the safe qualifiers. Say I will, or I must, or I demand, and watch the universe align with your audacity. Demand excellence, demand sacrifice, demand pain, because nothing good ever sprang from a polite request. Then back up your words with action so relentless that even the faintest echo of doubt is obliterated. You're men and women of purpose, not timid dreamers scribbling wish lists. It's time to speak in certainties, to act with ferocity, to become the raw embodiment of every promise you make to yourself. Your voice is your weapon. Wield it without mercy. Who told you that life hands out participation trophies for showing up? Every second you stay locked in the same corner of comfort, you're signing your own death warrant in the history of significance. You've got two paths ahead of you. One leads to evolution, the other to oblivion. Evolution isn't a checkbox you tick off when you feel like it. It's a war you wage every damn day. And let me make this crystal clear. If you don't evolve, you'll be forgotten. Your name will dissolve into the dust of the indifferent masses, and no one will shed a tear when your story vanishes. Look around and you'll see the graveyard of discarded dreams, those projects you promised yourself you'd finish, those risks you talked yourself out of, those moments when you could have been great but chose to play small instead. Every abandoned idea, every missed opportunity, every excuse you whispered into the darkness is another nail hammered into your legacy's coffin. The stakes aren't theoretical, they're real. They're the difference between waking up proud or waking up full of regret, between your name echoing through time or echoing nowhere at all. You think the stakes don't matter because you're just fine where you are. That's the lie you're telling to sleep at night. It's called the comfort trap, and it's as deadly as any bullet. You think staying safe keeps you alive. It kills your ambition, it kills your drive, and it kills your chance at anything resembling greatness. Safety is a mirage that evaporates the moment you close your eyes. When the dust settles, you'll be left with nothing but the hollow echo of your own cowardice. There's a price for evolution, and it's steep. You've got to pay in sacrifice, in sweat, in pain that gnaws at your bones and screams at your spirit. You'll have days when you hate yourself for choosing this path, when every fiber of your being begs you to crawl back into the warm embrace of mediocrity. You'll bleed for your dreams. You'll watch relationships fray, routines shatter, and illusions die. But that's the forge where champions are made, where the weak are burned away and the iron core of purpose is revealed. Contrast that with the cost of staying the same, endless inertia that drags you through life like an anchor. You'll live knowing you never tapped into your full potential, that you spent decades in the sidelines while others sprinted past you. You'll find yourself at 50, 60, 70 years old, blinking back tears as you realize you played by someone else's script and forgot to write your own. And when your time comes, you'll lie in bed staring at the ceiling, haunted by the ghost of who you could have been. But evolution isn't just pain and sacrifice. It's a promise of something greater. It's the promise that your name carries weight, that your achievements rattle the air and demand respect. It's knowing that when you look in the mirror, you see someone unbreakable, someone who refused to settle for scraps life tossed their way. It's the roar of your own confidence echoing through every room you enter, the spark in someone else's eyes when they hear your story. That legacy is forged only by those ruthless enough to chase it. So here's where you stand, on the edge of who you were and who you must become. The stakes couldn't be higher. You will either evolve into a force that changes every game it touches, or you will disappear into the static of forgotten voices. There's no neutral ground, no safe harbor where you can coast. The clock is ticking, the world is spinning, and every beat wastes an opportunity. Evolution demands everything, and if you're not ready to bleed for it, you'll bleed out in obscurity. Who taught you that fear is the enemy of ambition? That shivering in the dark means you've reached your limit. They lied to you. Fear is the roadmap to your greatest breakthroughs, the pulse in your veins reminding you that you're alive and on the brink of something massive. Every time your heart hammers in your chest before a challenge, that's ambition banging at the door, begging you to rise to the occasion. You feel the shake in your hands, the dry throat, the knot in your gut. That isn't weakness. It's the ignition switch for your potential. It's the moment when you either retreat into the safety of the familiar, or you lean into the chaos and claim what's waiting for you on the other side. Think about the times you stood at the edge of a decision, staring into the void of the unknown. You felt fear coil around your mind like a python squeezing life out of you. In that moment, you chose to step back and hide in excuses. You told yourself you weren't ready, that you needed more preparation, that the timing wasn't perfect. Meanwhile, the world kept moving. Opportunities slipped through your fingers like grains of sand, leaving you empty-handed and full of regret. That's the cost of treating fear as a cage instead of a compass. Fear doesn't exist to stop you. It exists to point you toward the path that matters most, the one where every fiber of your being yearns to go, but your brain screams to avoid. Ambition without fear is a fairy tale. It's like a warrior without armor, fully exposed the second the first blow lands. Real ambition walks hand in hand with fear, eyes blazing with desire while muscles tense with uncertainty. It's a high-stakes gamble where you wager everything on a chance that you'll outgrow every limitation you've ever known. You can hear it in your hollow excuses, in every statement of "I can't" or "I'm not ready." That's the coward's anthem, a lament sung to lull you back into oblivion. But if you recognize fear as the siren call of ambition, you stop singing along and instead charge toward the roar, ready to face down every doubt that tries to choke your voice. So how do you flip the script? How do you turn that trembling knot of dread into rocket fuel? You stop treating fear like a medical emergency and start treating it like an invitation. When you feel that familiar pinch behind your eyes, instead of grinding to a halt, you throttle forward. You step into the arena with fear clenched between your teeth and show it you're not backing down. You speak louder, push harder, and refuse to let the tremor in your bones determine your fate. Ambition isn't born from comfort. It's forged in the furnace of fear, where every spark of anxiety ignites a blaze that consumes doubt and leaves only drive. Imagine your life as a battlefield. On one side stands fear, a hulking beast bearing its fangs, daring you to retreat. On the other stands your ambition, a sleek predator coiled for the kill, eyes locked on victory. You're the commander on this field, and you have one decision. Which direction do you send your troops? If you surrender to fear, you watch your army scatter, goals collapse, dreams evaporate. But if you align with ambition, you harness the same energy that fuels your worry and redirect it as a laser focus on the prize. Fear and ambition become allies, each amplifying the other until there's no force on earth that can halt your charge. You've been trained to believe that fearless people don't feel fear. That's bullshit. Everyone feels it. The difference between the liars and the legends is this: legends feel fear and use it. They wear it like a medal of honor, proof that they ventured beyond the safe zone and into the realm of transformation. They listen when fear speaks, not to obey it, but to understand the message hidden in its roar. Fear tells them where their edge lies, where the battleground is, where the tests await. And instead of running, they sharpen their blades and step onto that field with a grin. So the next time your pulse spikes, don't panic, don't recoil, don't blink. Recognize that electric charge as your guidepost. Let ambition plug into it, morphing uncertainty into obsession. Draw a line in the sand. On this side lies comfort and mediocrity. On that side lies greatness made manifest. Then stare down the beast of fear and take that step forward. Let every heartbeat of doubt remind you why you can't afford to settle. Let every tremor in your limbs remind you of the life you're meant to seize. This isn't about ignoring your fear, it's about rewriting its purpose, so that it becomes the engine that propels you into the arena of your own ambition. You keep telling yourself there's time, that maybe next month you'll get serious, that next week you'll stop the bad habits, finally show up for yourself, finally step into the life you say you want. You lie to yourself with this false sense of eternity, as if you've got unlimited days to waste, but you don't. Time is a predator, not a luxury. It doesn't care about your excuses, your intentions, or your plans. It just keeps moving. It steals from you every second you hesitate, every hour you procrastinate, every day you choose comfort over growth. You think you have time, but the clock doesn't stop for your feelings. You keep waiting for a perfect moment, a lightning bolt of motivation, a magical morning when everything aligns and you finally feel ready. Let me tell you, readiness is a myth. It's a story weak people tell themselves to feel better about standing still. No one feels ready. Readiness comes after movement, not before it's earned. You want to feel motivated, start moving. You want clarity, do something uncomfortable. You want change, then act like it. Stop mistaking delay for strategy. Stop pretending your hesitation is thoughtful. It's not. It's fear. It's laziness. It's the slow decay of a person who once had fire but now only has flickers. You don't get another shot at today. Once it's gone, it's gone. It joins the stack of wasted yesterdays you keep piling up behind you, hoping no one notices, but you notice, you feel it. That gnawing, empty ache that comes when you know you're capable of more, but you keep choosing less. That sting when you scroll past someone else winning, because deep down you know you could be doing the same. That's not jealousy, that's suppressed ambition, and the only cure for it is action. Now, not tomorrow, not next Monday, not after you clean your room or buy a new planner. Right now, when it's uncomfortable, when you're tired, when you're scared, that's when it matters most. You keep telling yourself it's okay to take a break, to slow down, to be kind to yourself. And sure, there's a time for recovery. But most of you aren't recovering. You're hiding. You're calling it self-care when really it's self. Sabotage with a pretty name. You're playing dress-up with discipline, acting like 5 minutes of effort justifies a day of excuses. You say you're trying, but trying is just failing politely. It's a soft cushion to land on when you don't want to commit. Winners don't try. They do, they execute, they attack, they sacrifice, because they know the brutal truth. You either act now or you die as a could have been. People love to pretend they're planning. They fill notebooks with goals, set timers, make mood boards, but when the pressure hits, when it's time to take the actual steps that hurt, they flinch, they shrink. They get distracted, scroll a little more, promise themselves they'll get back to it later, but later never shows up. Later is a liar. Later is the thief of your legacy. You don't get to build a future on good intentions and completed to-do lists. You build it with urgency, with sweat, with pain, with sacrifices made now, not dreamed about tomorrow. The truth is, if you don't do it now, someone else will, and that person, the one who's doing it while you wait, that's the person you'll be clapping for while you wonder what happened to your own dreams. That's the person who will take the opportunities you were too slow to grab. This world rewards speed. It rewards decisiveness. It rewards people who act before they feel ready. So while you're stuck in your head overthinking, the ones who are hungry enough to move without hesitation are already halfway down the road. You've got to stop being romantic about your potential. You keep falling in love with what you could be, but you're cheating on it every day with your bad habits, with your excuses, with your comfort. You say you want greatness, but your actions scream, I'm fine right here. You can't have both. You either wake up and attack the life you say you want, or you lay back and watch it fade away. The time is now, it's always now. Every second you wait, someone else gets stronger. Every second you delay, the person you're meant to be drifts further out of reach. Urgency is the lifeblood of transformation. You either use this moment or lose it forever.